Fair enough. I think obviously if you're looking at that which is systemically contradictory and then the doctrines of each faith, you raise a legitimate question. The doctrine of the Trinity, which it talks about, one being and yet three persons in the Godhead. So let me try and illustrate this as best as I can, because this, I think, is that this touches the nerve of the heart and the heart of what the Christian faith is all about. C.S. Lewis, in one of his books, talks precisely about this analogical comparison between God and human beings. And he says if you take a dimension in life and add a second dimension to it, then a third dimension to it, he said with each added dimension, you have greater capacity and greater possibilities of that which can be actualized. If you take one dimension, you get a straight line. You take two dimensions, you get a figure. You take a third dimension, you can get objects. And he said when you break these dimensions down, the fundamental components remain the same, but the accretion of those components give you greater possibilities. So when you've got a finite being and a contingent being and a limited being, but you've got one dimension in which you're describing the very nature of being. You add to that now the possibility of an infinite being, an uncaused being, and a being that is non-dependent. You get the possibility of a being with greater complexity. And the illustration I like to give to you is this. It is not even so much that you start from the end nature of God and come down here. You start from where we are to understand what this might be. Fishermen knew there was a difference between 1 and 3. Paul the rabbi knew there was a difference between 1 and 3. Luke the physician knew there was a difference between 1 and 3. These are not kind of airheads floating around trying to posit a new kind of a concept to just to give